Okay, so I'm going to start off with an example to refresh our algebra skills on how to complete the square. If you remember from Common Core Algebra, first thing you're going to want to do is move your constant to the other side of the equation. Okay, remember the constant is the one without the x in there. So we're going to move the constant to the other side of the equation so I have my x squared and my x term alone. That gives me x squared plus 4x is equal to 14. Okay, now here's where the completing the square comes in. I want to add something to this side of the equation so that I have a perfect square trinomial. I can write it as a binomial squared. So to figure out what that is, I take my b value, which is 4, I divide it by 2, and I square it. Okay, so 4 divided by 2 is 2, 2 squared is 4. So 4 is what I have to add to both sides of my equal sign. Remember, I'm preserving the equality by adding to both sides. That gives me x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 18. Okay? Now notice on the left-hand side, I have x squared plus 4x plus 4, which I can factor, if you remember factoring, into x plus 2 times x plus 2, which lo and behold, is x plus 2 squared. It'll always be the case. You'll always get the same number when you factor because we made it so by adding our b over 2 value. Okay? Now I have a square, but there's only one x in there, right? X plus 2 squared. I got rid of that second x in the x squared. And now if you remember, to solve that for x, I take the square root of both sides. That cancels out here. Remember, whenever I physically take the square root of a number, I write plus or minus, and now, oh yuck, this one's going to come out irrational, but that's okay, we know how to do that. If I simplify the square root of 18, I'm looking for factors of 18 that are perfect squares, that's 9 and 2. So I could rewrite that as plus or minus 3 times the square root of 2. Okay, so I'm almost done now. My last step to get x alone is to subtract 2 from both sides, and x is equal to negative 2 plus or minus 3 root 2, an irrational number in this case, but we're in Common Core geometry, so we're not afraid of rational numbers, okay? You can check that by taking those answers and plugging them back into your original to see if you get 0, okay? So that's the process that you're going to follow in all 8 example questions. Good luck.